So happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. This is Forrest out in St. Louis. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm going to give this just a few seconds to push out to my other social media platforms here. I got to stream in a couple of pages, a YouTube channel, and of course Periscope over on the Twitters. Just want to give it a few seconds to get pushed out there. If you're seeing this and you're on one of those other pages or one of those other social networks, you should see a link that says join me on StreamYard. Go ahead and click on that link. It'll bring you into my comments window. So if you do have any comments or questions or just want to stop by and say hi, I'll be able to see those comments that you post and share. So one of the things that I've noticed, and if you're like me and you've seen this, like, what's the perfect thing? What do I say to somebody to get them to buy my stuff? What is the perfect script? What is the perfect thing? What do I say to get them to even move to the next step? And it's one of those things that's some stuff works, some stuff don't. So what I found is I've got the perfect script. You're absolutely going to love this. So if you got notes, you can always rewind this and take notes later, but you might want to write this down, because this is what I found to be very, very true in every case. So if you're struggling, if you're at a point and you're saying, man, how do I get more leads? How do I get more prospects? How do I get more people to close? And I'll back up to this a little bit. Some people that I found are very, very good at customer acquisition. Some people are very, very good at prospecting, and some people are good at both. And there's 6 of one, half dozen another. And the people that are good at recruiting, they just have a system that they use, and the system that we use, I'll sort of go over that with you here a little bit. The system that we use, or that I use, is, of course, we reach out to somebody, we prospect to them, we ask them if they're open, we send them a video link, sort of a teaser intro video link. If they say they have interest, they have more questions, then we go ahead and we move them into what we call an ATM group, where we add them to the group, we tag them in a longer presentation so they can watch the presentation, and then hopefully move them into something live, like maybe a team meeting or something like that. But we never take them to a private team meeting until they've at least seen 1 or 2 presentations, so they have a real good feel for what's going on. Typically in that process, most people that agree to go to the team meeting have pretty much raised their hand and said they're ready to go. They may not have the money right now, but they're invested. They've seen the vision, they understand the dream, they understand primarily where we're going as a team, so they're ready to go ahead and enroll and sign on the dotted line, when they get the money. So one of the things I was talking about the other day was prospecting people. We were having a conversation with some of my, if you want to call them cross team, and they were trying to figure, like, they said, man, I talk to everybody that doesn't have any money. And my thought process is stop talking to people that don't have money, is recruit up. And the way you do that, one of the things that I found, I've got some really good doctors that are in the network marketing industry, and being able to learn and find out that they're just like us. They're just like, if you want to say just like us, they have the same goals. They want to spend time with their family, they want to spend time with their kids. They've got all the same ish that just about everybody else does, except they went to school a lot longer and paid a lot more money to do it. So don't take anybody for granted. Don't put them on your chicken list. One of the things that I've learned about working with doctors and working with professionals on that side of if you want to call them educated professionals, the kind of people that have gone to college and spent a lot of money to get there, is the only difference between them and the people that haven't is they went to college and spent a lot of time and money to get their degrees, and that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, I guess you want to call it courage, because they're going into debt a lot. It takes a lot of work to do all that education, to get the professional tile to hang their shingle, to hang out on their front door, to get that. So again, if you're a professional, really appreciate you for all your work. Happy Mother's Day. So what is it exactly you say? I'm going to check here really quick, because I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments or questions here. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. This is Forrest Johnson. Yes. Looks like Rick and Kyle and a couple other people says I'm watching, so that's cool. Facebook seems like it. Are you okay over there, Mr. Uno? He's having a bad dream. My dog's hanging out right outside my office door here, chilling. So what is it you say? What do you say? What is it that you say, the perfect line, the perfect word tracks? What is it that you can say to get somebody to take the next step? And here's what I like to say: that you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person to a certain extent. And there's a certain way to prospect and there's a certain way not to prospect. If you're just going out and spamming your link to people, there's probably a pretty good chance that they're just going to blow you off. Now, the only exception to that is sort of on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a weird beast. LinkedIn, and this is my opinion, somebody got a little bit upset because I wasn't making friends with them on LinkedIn. I don't want to be your friend. I want to help you make money and get out of get out of your empty refrigerator. We can be friends later, but my goal right now is I don't need to know about you. I don't need to know about all that stuff right now. My number one goal is to reach out to you, see if you're open to taking a look at a way to earn a little bit of extra money on the side. And if you are, or create a residual income, depending on what you want to do. Some people love what they do. Some people love the careers that they're in, and they don't want to stop doing what they're doing because they're passionate about it, they love it, but they would also like to make a little bit of extra money. Maybe they're spending 60, 70 hours a week, working on their regular job, and they'd like to work maybe 30 hours a week, or maybe work part-time, or maybe even just work 40 hours a week and have enough money coming in on the side as a side hustle to offset the difference of the overtime. So they're out there and they're looking for a way that they don't have to invest more time. They just want a system that they can plug into. They can create that residual income. The cool thing about the opportunity I'm plugged into, it does exactly that. It gives people the opportunity to create a basic passive residual income without having to really do anything extra. And I'm going to put a phrase on that. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's not a get rich quick deal. There does take some effort into it. But the cool thing about it is it's a little bit different business model that I really appreciate. That's why I jumped on the bandwagon and sort of taking off like gangbusters, for lack of a better word. So what do you say? Like I said, you can't really say the wrong thing to the right person, but it all depends on what you're saying. You've got to become a wordsmith. You have some word kung fu to be able to convert people sometimes. So you got to listen. You got to listen to what they say. And sometimes it's just taking a pause, stepping back out of marketing mode and stepping into normal conversation mode when somebody says something to you about something. And it's very important to sort of work a way around, because there are some people out there that are just saying stuff just to be jerks. And if you go into defense mode and you go into fight mode, they've got you. They've got you hooked. They took that swing. They took that jab. They did whatever they needed to say whatever they needed to get you to roll into that. And one of the coolest phrases that I've ever learned when you run across somebody like that, I had somebody today just grilling me on like, well, are you in Forbes? Are you in this? Are you in that? And one of my favorite all-time phrases I learned this many, many years ago is, I really don't know. So when they say blah, 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 it doesn't matter what they say. If they're going into all of this stuff about wanting you to come up with all this evidence and background stuff. Now, if you've got stuff, you can send it to them, say, hey, great. I really don't know. All I know is that XYZ PDQ got these results. And if you'd like those results too, we can go ahead and move forward. However, I do have some material. If you'd like to read it, I'll send it to you. You can also use the Googles and do all the research you want to. I'll cycle back in about 90 days and sort of see where you ended up with your research. That way, you've taken the power away from them and you've given it to yourself. You posture yourself. So understanding how to have a basic conversation with somebody and having some certain word tracks with somebody, you've got to know. If you come back in defense mode, somebody says, is it one of those pyramid things? I really don't know. It's more like an octagon. It's more like one of those octagon things. However, quit messing around. Are you open to taking a look at some money, making some money or not? You see how you just took you played, you had a little bit of fun with them. You had some word tracks in there. It's understanding how to say that to people. Yeah. Are you serious? You're just joking, right? One of those pyramid things. No, it's more like one of those octagon things. It's like got 8 sides. Quit messing around. Do you want to make some money or not? And that's you're taking the power away from them because they're throwing some ish at you. The other way is absolutely is one of those pyramid things. Man, I love this thing. Have you ever joined a pyramid before? You see, that's taking a negative and turning it into a positive. And the whole point of that is just to see what they're going to say. And no matter what they come back with, blah, 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 great. If they say, yeah, this is sort of negative. Hey, these pyramid things aren't a fit for everybody. But if you know anybody that would like to make a little bit of extra money on the side, appreciate a referral. So you've got to be able to take it away from them. You take the power away from whatever their objection is, feed it back to them so they sort of hear what you're saying, so they can hear what you're saying. I know my wife was getting blasted. She was prospecting somebody. Hey, Kendra, thanks for swinging by. Hey, Kashima, thanks for swinging by. You take the power away from my wife was getting blasted and she was going to send a lady a message. I said, hold on a second. So basically we took her words, exactly what she said, fed them back to her with a comment. She ended up enrolling as a customer. So sometimes people say stuff that's like their trigger reaction. Most people are triggered to say no, which is cool. People need to do their due diligence. And my fear, if I sent somebody one of my little 18-minute presentations and they signed up immediately, I'd sort of be a little bit scared, because I'm like, okay, did they look at it before? Did they get more information before? You know, if they're making a business decision, if they're making a multi-million-dollar business decision based on an 18-minute presentation, something's going to happen. They're going to start, they're going to quit. They're going to be somebody that's going to constantly blow up my phone every 15 minutes. Like, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? What about this? This don't work. That don't work. This. They're just going to be one of those kind of people that just are really irritating. And I learned my lesson in that is being able to take the power away from that. You know, I really don't know. All I know is we've got some tools over here, some videos over there. Go watch those videos. And if you have any questions after you watch them, let's get in touch. And if they say, well, I don't have time to watch the videos, well, I'll tell you what, when you do have time to watch the videos, we can talk. And again, you take the power away from, you take the power away from those types of people. So if somebody comes at you, say for instance, you send out a message, you put out on LinkedIn and blah, 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 and they reply back with, so what is this all about? Or what's that all about? And what I do is I always ask people if they're open to taking a look at what I've got going on. And I immediately take that back. If they say, so what is this? They'll say, what is this? Glad you asked. Just want to verify, are you open to taking a look at some information if I send it to you? So that's, again, I want to make them understand, because some people sort of read the headline, they'll skip to the bottom and they ask a question before they've even read the statement. I guess it's a better word, a better way to put that. So somebody says, what is this? Say, glad you asked. Just to be clear, are you open to taking a look at this information to see if you're fit for what we're doing? So you've taken the power away from them again. You postured yourself in a position. One is just to be clear, are you open? Doesn't matter what they say. Somebody had posted in the group, some goofball had posted all this just blather, just blah, 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 and XYZ and the PDQ and all this kind of other stuff in there. And my immediate response with that is, so to be clear, you're open to taking a look at a short presentation that explains exactly what we do, right? Comma, right? Exclamation point. I didn't put question, I put exclamation point. See, that's my feed it back to them, so they sound like, if they sound like a blathering idiot. So just to be clear, you're open to taking a look at a short presentation that explains exactly what we do, right? You see that? You see the power in that? Just to be clear, it takes them off of their deal, because they're doing, now this person may have been being a smart aleck or just being sarcastic or thought they were being funny or whatever it is. But in terms of that, you posture yourself and you just wait for them to see. Now they may, whatever they reply back with, if they reply back with some kind of other blathering stuff, here's what I would do is I would just let them sit, and I wouldn't reply to them for like 90 days. I would put them on like a 90-day deal and come back and cycle back around in 90 days. I would reply back at that time and say, hey, wanted to touch base with you. I've enrolled X number of customers. Business is absolutely going great. I know what I'm doing is probably not a fit for you, but if you know anybody that's looking to make a little bit extra money on the side, appreciate a referral. So you've taken all the power away from them. You walked away from the insult. You walked away from the insult. Hey, Terry, you're welcome. Thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate it. So it's all about just taking a little bit of time. And so this takes skill. I've been in sales a long time, so I can hear somebody say something. I just had a gentleman on this Saturday. He was just like in my face. He was like, rah, 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 rah. And I was so calm. I was like, man, I have the super calm kung fu going on, super calm kung fu. And he was just trying to razz me from one side to the other side to the other side. And I just looked at my watch. I did this right in front of him. I just looked at my watch, took my glasses off, got a tissue, cleaned my glasses, put my glasses back on. And I said, so to be clear, you understand you need to make an appointment to talk to a salesperson, correct? After he did all this stuff, I looked at my watch, cleaned off my glasses and said, so to be clear, you understand you need to make an appointment to talk to a salesperson, right? And he was like, and then he just turned around and walked out. Because see, he was trying to bully his position. He's trying to come in and bully. And when he found out that that we weren't going to be bullied. Now, some other person may have got all been out of shape and ran and, you know, done something a little bit different, like, okay, because they're afraid that, oh my God, if this person walks out, I'm not going to get a sale. It's about positioning and posturing yourself and having confidence and knowing what your system is, and knowing that your system is what you need to plug people into to either filter them in or filter them out. And when you figure that out, when you figure out the system is going to work for you, when you figure out you're not the tool, that the system is the tool, that's when it really doesn't matter what you say. The word tracks aren't important. What's important is you're asking somebody if they're open, understanding how they reply. So to be clear, that's one of my favorite. So to be clear, you know, if they get a little bit crazy on you, just move on, just block, poke, move on, delete them. Just, you know, it's not a fit for you, whatever. Sounds like what I'm doing isn't going to work for you. Or what I really like to do, if somebody comes at me really guns a-blazing, a lot of times I put on empathy mode, because maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe they just lost somebody. Maybe their dog died. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're just having a bad day. And a good reply would be, hey man, it looks like you're having a really bad day. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What I'll do is I'm going to cycle back in about 45 days and check on you, see how you're doing, okay? And I do that. It's an empathetic way. Sometimes then they'll be like, yeah. And a lot of times, sometimes it's just a gut feeling. It's just a feeling in my gut that I need to respond like that. Sometimes I might go take a quick look at their profile and see if there's anything on their profile that may be going on in their life. And I'll come back and, you know, I'll say something empathetic that way, you know, okay. And they'll say, yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just going. And they'll get on the couch and they'll tell me their life story. Yeah, I got this going on. I got that going on. Just got too much on my plate. I really appreciate that. Sometimes you just got to take their edge off. You got to take that off and realize that, you know, I'm interrupting them. They didn't come to me. I'm interrupting them. I knocked on their door and asked them if they wanted to take a look at my opportunity. I'm interrupting them. I'm coming into their space and asking them if they want to take a look. Here's the other part to that is, if they say they're interested, if they say they're open to taking a look, doesn't mean they're ready to get started in your business. So you got to understand that. Don't position yourself. Don't put them in the wrong position. They simply said that they were open to taking a look. That's it. They didn't say they're ready to start. And the cool thing that you can position yourself. Now watch the posture in this. This is very cool. I learned this from Ray and Rankmakers. Is very, very cool. And being able to position yourself and posture yourself like this. Hey, if they say, yeah, I'm going to take a look, great, absolutely cool. Oh, and by the way, if you decide to do this, you can use the exact same script. Now, there's two parts of this. You can use the exact same script and the exact same video I'm going to share to you that you can share with other people. Cool. And they'll come back with right on and say, oh, and P.S. if you decide this isn't for you, do me a favor and let me know, so we can reschedule the follow-up, or we don't have to follow up, or I can fill somebody else into the slot. So that way you're giving them a way out. You're letting them know that it's okay for them to take a look at the information. It's okay for them to say no. It's okay for them to tell you that it's not a fit for them. And when you let people know that, it makes them feel a lot more comfortable. It doesn't get awkward, and you don't get as ghosted as much. When you give them a way out, are you open to taking a look? If not, that's absolutely okay. If they say they are open to taking a look, great. Here's a video. I'm going to send it to you. And they, of course, they agree when they're going to watch it. And you say, oh, by the way, after you watch it, if you see this isn't a fit for you, do me a favor. Shoot me a message. As a matter of fact, here's my mobile number. Shoot me a text message and let me know that it isn't a fit for you. And then I can put somebody else in that follow-up time slot. Cool. And people understand that. So you've postured yourself in that position, which is very, very neat. So you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Just need to learn how to have normal conversations with people. Sometimes, instead of being so triggered and trying to think that being postured doesn't mean you get the right to be a jerk, right? Being postured means sometimes you need to be empathetic. Sometimes you need to understand and try to maybe look behind the curtain, look behind the screen, and find out what's going on with them. If they come guns a-blazing at you, most of the time there's something going on with them. Has anything to do with you at all. It's not personal, because they don't know you. There's probably something going on with them that they need a hug. They need, some kind of deal. Now, if they're just being if they just come guns a-blazing, guns a-blazing, just block them and move on. Why? Because there's like 7 billion people on the planet that you can reach out to. There's 318 million people or something like that here in the U.S. So there's plenty of people to go knock on their door. There's plenty of people to prospect. Somebody the other day, actually, I got to keep giving quite a few people say, where do you find all these people to prospect? I'm like, every time I hear that question, I'm like, they're all out there, all everywhere. There's people everywhere. You know, it's crazy. You can find people. In all reality, in all seriousness, you guys, I just did 2 lives here about a week ago now, I think, about where to find people on social media, something like that. I think it's the title. So if you'd like to go know where to find people, go check out those 2 lives. One's part 2, one's just 1, and then there's part 2 that I did in terms of how to find people on social media. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value from this. Again, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Try to have normal conversations. When you're doing prospecting, ask them if they're open and give them an out. Always address the elephant in the room. Let them know what you're talking about. If they're a complete stranger, it's absolutely, I love prospecting strangers. Easiest, like shooting, it's like shooting ducks. It's like shooting fish in a pond. It's a very, very cool opportunity. Once you figure out that kung fu, it makes prospecting really easy. And there's tons and tons of people out there to reach out to. This is Forrest out in St. Louis. I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. No more empty refrigerators. Go out and make an extreme impact. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.